My guest, David Hancock, a world-renowned naturalist and somebody who's really put his life on the line. He's published some, what, 800 books now? On
Oh, not quite that, but it's pushing that.
700?
Yeah, getting 600 and something here.
Yeah, a lot of books.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got more books that he's published than most people have ever seen, let alone read. And his books are all on something, because he picks the best author on a subject and gets them to write a book. And you get books like eagles and falcons and owls and parrots and mushrooms and wild flowers. And
I even used to publish books about investing and crossing the border.
Yes, you did.
When there used to be debates about what you could bring across the border and couldn't, but of course they made them all. Everything crossing the border now is moderately straightforward, and so you haven't done your book.
Well, there's more stuff.
Well, you have to do another book.
I've got to do another book. I just never get around to it because I started on answering questions on the Internet. The Internet came along and stole my book writing things.
Stole my book publishing company, because I don't do anything with it anymore either. I shouldn't say that.
Well, you're having fun. But David Hancock also, 4 years ago, he phoned me and he was talking about what could he do. He had this fellow on an island, Hornby Island, if I remember right, who had a camera up a tree on an eagle's nest. And it wasn't being broadcast on the Internet. He was just recording it and giving the most interesting talks on it. And David saw one of these, and next thing I knew, he wanted to know if he could do this and put it on the Internet. And I said, well, yeah, you can do it. You got to get hold of Richard, who's sitting over there. And the next thing I know, they had an eagle hatching eggs on a nest up a tree on Hornby Island, and 40,000 people an hour watching this. And you were responsible for this whole, as far as I can see, this whole thing, because since you did that, we got cameras on salmon. You had the cameras on the heron's nest. We got guys with cameras on wildebeest in Africa and lions and tigers.
Well, lots of people had, David,
but not on the Internet.
Well, no, other people had put cameras on the Internet, but they had somehow not captured the imagination of the news media, and ours captured the imagination of the news media. And so we got a lot of publicity, and this kind of made this whole phenomena of live cams much, much more popular. And so now we've got them underwater, as you said. We've got, one of the interesting things is we set up, about a couple of weeks ago now, just before I went to Alaska, we built a tower, 10 foot by 10 square and about 20 feet high. We built it at the Sandpiper Lodge, and where there's a small airport. And we had a big helicopter lift this big tower out and set it in the middle of the Chehalis Flats. Then a crew, because this tower was donated to us by Aluma, the people who make these kind of towers. The aircraft was donated to us by a personal friend to lift this great thing out there. And then the crew came out, put a top part on, a little house at the top. And then in that, Richard, who is behind the camera here, organized all the cameras and a fuel cell, which we dealt with that fuel cell some time back. And that fuel cell is out there on that tower driving these cameras. And they are to look at that 2,580 eagles, which are hopefully about to arrive over the next few days as it freezes up north. And it could even be this year more eagles. Unfortunately, during last week while I was in Alaska, for some reason, the camera transmission quit. And we are waiting to go back out to the flats, but it has been lousy weather every day, and the water comes up and down about 5 feet every day. And so we've not actually been able to get out there. We're hoping to go out on Monday.
So the camera's not working today.
The camera is not working out on the flats today. It was working. I don't know. Richard, can you show some of the close-ups? He's just about to do that. It was kind of neat. I got home the next morning after we installed the cameras, and I thought, well, I'll have a look at this. And I turned the cameras on, and they happened to be pointing south when we turned them on live. And I started to look around, and there was about 200-300 eagles. And I looked all around.
There's the eagle right there.
Well, I'm going to come to that. And as I'm scanning around, the whole valley is water. There are no flats where we had just landed the helicopter. And I pointed the camera down at the bottom of the tower, and there's water a foot coming up the tower. Well, we'd been 2 feet above the water. So I thought, well, there's no wonder there's no eagles, because there's nothing for them to sit on. It's a lake. So then I thought, I wonder. And I tilted the camera up and turned one of the cameras and pointed it at the edge of the tower. And there was one of the eagles sitting, tearing apart a salmon right on our tower, just about 8 feet from the camera. So it's quite a nice shot. There's a lot of spots in this case on the wind, because on the lens, because the rain is just pounding in on the camera while the photograph is being taken.
But this is in the wild.
This is in the wild.
On the river, on the
Chehalis
River.
The Chehalis River.
On the Luma donated tower. And the cameras, you've managed to put the cameras together, and the fuel cell came from Forestone.
Yes.
That's right.
Forestone.
Good for you. Forestone. Yep.
Place in Edmonton that provides remote, and this power source is methanol.
Now, before we go any farther, David, Richard has got feeling so bad, he's now turned the camera on himself.
There's Richard.
So Richard is now coming out.
I've even got my mic on so you guys can hear me.
No, Richard was probably going to tell you something. I thought he was going to. I was just trying to introduce the fact that he was probably going to tell us some of the technical part behind the camera. But
it's not that there aren't people all over the place. And you mean Richard had you set up multi-user, computer in a computer system in 1986, if you remember, using a Xenix operating system, and had me I'd set up myself in '83, but he kept mine running, and with Space Age, he was the first person with his partner Stuart Lynn to provide commercial internet services in Canada.
Yeah.
Now that is when you think that everybody from age 1 to 92 now is on the internet.
Yeah, I know, it's astounding.
And they would be lost without the internet. And I can remember stuff Richard was bringing up, and I see one of our cats has just come in. I think
she's a...
Well, okay, Moggs, come on over here. There's Glenn Kellaway come in. He's our next guest. He's going to talk about mortgages. He's a mortgage broker.
Aha.
And it's actually the guy that got me the mortgage here after my bankruptcy and my divorce and the recovery. Nobody would give me a mortgage. Glenn got it for me.
Good.
Anyway, go sit down someplace.
Well, if this is about to end, then
we're not going to end right now.
Is it?
What time
I
is
want
it
to
anyway?
really make...
No, we got lots of time.
Okay.
Is it 8:31 now?
Sorry, 18:31, so 6:30.
6:31, yeah, we got half an hour to go.
Oh, okay.
He's got here when he just was supposed to, which was 6:30, so
go.
we knew he was here. We didn't have to worry.
There you go.
Reintroduction.
Reintroductions. My guest